features of the higher level language. So, and especially object-oriented programming language like C++ has these all features. You can have the three different kind of a loops you can use: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So let us first start with the for loop. The for loop is most commonly used statement in C++. This loop consists of three expressions. The first expression is used to initialize the index value. The second expression is used to check whether or not loop is to be continued again. And third, to change the index value for the further iterations. The general syntax of for loop is like you can write for expression 1 semicolon expression 2 semicolon expression 3, where expression 1 is nothing but is used to initialize the index value. Expression 2 is the assessment of a condition. If the given condition is true, loop will continue. Otherwise, you will exit from the loop. And expression 3 is either used for the incrementation or decrementation, so change of index. So expression 1 is initialization of expression or the condition. Expression 2 is the condition check as long as given expression is true. And expression 3 is the incrementer or decrementer to change the index value for the for loop variable. If you have the single statement, then you can, after for loop, you can write only a statement. But if you wish to execute more than one statement, then you should write in the form of a compound statement. So for example, for is nothing but this is the first expression is initial condition, second is a test condition, third is either incrementer or decrementer, and if you wish to execute a group of statements, then we have to use the compound statement. Suppose initially value of sum I am assigning as a 0. Now I am starting the index I by the value 0. So for I equal to 0. Now I less than equal to 100. That means every time it will see that whatever the value of I which is less than equal to 100, then it will enter into this loop and then they will perform this expression. And after performing this, it will come to here and it is asking for a increment by 1. And here initially sum equal to 0. So every time what happen, the new sum will be calculated and again assigned back to the variable sum. The loop variable in this case is I, that is index. During the first pass, this variable initialized with the value, not the 1, it is a 0 because here it is 0. In the subsequent passes, this step will not be carried out. After initialization done, the subsequent expression is evaluated and the loop is entered only if the given condition is true. Suppose if I less than equal to 100, if it is true, then only then you will continue with the loop. Otherwise, you will exit from the loop. And the third expression, after this evaluation of this statement, your cursor or control will transfer to here and it will go for the increment of a index. So if it is a 0, now it will convert to the 1. So if I wish to write a program to display numbers from 0 to 10 using the for loop, so to display any program, we have to use the cout function, and cout is a function of a header file iostring.h. So we will include iostring.h, void main, and now as I said that first you have to declare the variable, but in a for loop you can declare also in this way for integer. That means I equal to 0, I is the integer variable whose initial value is 0, I less than equal to 10 plus I, and you can give the cout I. So it will bring the numbers between 0 to 10. First I equal to 0, 0 less than equal to 10, yes, you will enter into this. So I become cout is 0. Then there is increment, then now I become the 1. 1 is less than equal to 10, yes. Then it will print the 1. Then there is increment. Now I become the 2. whether 2 is less than or equal to 10, again it will execute this. So this process is continued till I less than or equal to 10. As soon as I exceed the 10, it will exit from the loop. Another program we'll try to understand, a program to find the sum and average of given numbers. I wish to find out the sum of given numbers and the average of given numbers without using array. I'm not using array over here. You can see that. So include iostream.h. You can write your program in a main function. N is an integer. So now see out how many numbers. So you will enter the n numbers you wish to enter. Now you wish to find out the sum. So float sum equal to 0 and float a. Whatever numbers I am entering, that is the floating point numbers. And whenever finding the sum, that is also a floating point number. But initial value of sum I will give the 0. Now I am using the for loop. For integer I equal to 0, I less than equal to n minus 1. Why here n minus 1 instead of n? Anyone?
क्योंकि सर 0 से स्टार्ट होता है तो वो एक ज़्यादा कंसिडर करना पड़ेगा हमें, इसलिए।
आपकी आवाज़ मेरे तक नहीं पहुंची।
सर I 0 से स्टार्ट होता है तो वो 0 में भी एक वैल्यू स्टोर करेगा तो हमारे n-1 हो जाएंगे।
आई एक्चुअली 0 आप ले रहे हैं तो लूप एक बार घूमेगा। आई 1 है तब वापस एक बार घूमेगा, आई 2 है तो अगेन वापस घूमेगा। तो 0 से n-1, तो हाउ मेनी एलिमेंट्स आर देयर? देयर आर n एलिमेंट्स। 1 से n लिखो या 0 से n-1, टोटल हमें कितने नंबर्स चाहिए? n नंबर्स चाहिए। एंड एवरी टाइम इट विल आस्क एंटर ए नंबर्स, और आप नंबर हमेशा ऐड करते जाएंगे, और वो नंबर ऐड किया दैट विल बी एडेड इनटू द सम ए। इनिशियली वैल्यू ऑफ सम इज 0, so next value is 0 plus a, that is the sum. So now whatever numbers you have added, that is now in this a sum. Now again 1 is less than equal to n minus 1. Yes, again it will ask user to enter numbers. User will supply some numbers, but initially the value of sum is a. Now a plus a may be different numbers, so you can have the, it is a sum of two numbers that will be stored into that. And after getting this sum, you wish to find out the average. So average is nothing but sum by n. Sum is a float numbers, n is integer, the float by integer is a float. And here, before using the AV variable, I have to declare. So I can declare anywhere because they are said to be a local variable. Before using, you can declare. It is not mandatory that you should always declare at the top, but it is advisable that you should declare at the top. But if you don't want, you can declare it before using it, and then you can print sum and average. Okay, so suppose how many numbers you wish to enter. So let us, you wish to enter the 4 numbers. So enter a number. First you enter the 3, second you enter the 2, third you enter the 1. So what is the answer? The output is, and 4 number is 4. The output is 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. And 10 divided by 4 is a 2.5. So let me show you. The program to put sum of n given numbers using for loop. Stream.h include onio.h void main integer str integer n cout enter value of enter number of observations in n. Now you will enter the value I running from 1 to n. So I will declare integer. Let us say I will give 0, n minus 1, I plus plus, for loop, out, enter value of observation in A. But I have not declared, so I will declare here dot A, and I wish to find out the sum. So sum is initially I will give 0 and average. Okay. You can give in between also, there is no issue. And then you will calculate the sum equal to, or sum plus equal to I. It is as good as the sum equal to sum plus k. Out sum, do sum and that, and average is equal to sum by out average. Okay. Let us run it, compile, there is no errors. Now run, enter the number of observation, let us say 4, enter the value 4, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so 4 observations, it is giving sum equal to 10 and average equal to 2.5. Is that fine? Any question? No questions. Okay. So this is where you can write a program of a sum and average of n numbers using the for loop. Some unusual construction of for loop. You can use it in this way, but it is not advisable. Syntax wise, it is correct. Sometimes one may write the for loop in C++ in the following way, which is, even though valid, is less desirable than the conventional form. Suppose you can write integer I, you can write I equal to 0 instead of here, and then for loop semicolon I less than equal to 4 less than equal to 4 semicolon, and then you can use the I plus plus here. So in this way you can use it, but I may not advise to use this kind of a style. Okay, this is valid. Sometimes initial condition may not required. Suppose if you wish to input the characters, then you do not require to go for the initialization of index. You can directly use the for loop in this way, 4 semicolon. If ch equal to scene dot get not equal to /n, it means unless the entry is possible till enter is not observed. As soon as you give the enter, what happens? It will not allow to enter the characters using the for loop. If you wish to read a line using the for loop, so this is the command for that. There is no need of initial condition, only you require the termination character. So not equal to, that means whatever the characters you are entering is not equal to /n, तब तक क्या होगा, you will enter the words from the keyboard, but as soon as you give the enter, it will exit from the for loop. Okay, so this command is mainly useful to enter a keywords or enter or enter any characters, alphabet characters using the keyboard. And for loop is allowing the reading a line. So this is given, for example, cout enter a line, you have declared the character ch, now you give the instruction to the users enter a line, and suppose you enter your space character is colon, and then if you have given the enter, it will close here. Okay, it will exit from the loop. So for loop is used to read a character from the keyboard as long as test condition is view in a line or the carriage return. So it will allow as soon as you will give the carriage return, that part is over. Another way you can write in this way, for semicolon semicolon. This is also advisable. But what happened? This for loop is valid, but it will execute the loop indefinitely because there is no condition to be checked to terminate this loop. You do not have given any condition for the termination and assessments of a condition. It means that this loop will be executed indefinitely. Sometimes I may ask in a MCQ that if I wish to run the program indefinitely, following of the for loop syntax is correct. So that you have to identify. Some options are given. So this is the correct answer. Another types of a loop, suppose somebody say that I don't want to give the statement. I will just terminate the loop. I will write the for loop and give the semicolon. That means the loop is terminated. So when loop is terminated, as I reach to the end, this loop will be repeated. The I value becomes the 9. कब तक repeat होगा? I जब 0 से 9 तक पहुंचेगा, तब तक ये loop चालू रहेगा. There will not be any other statement will be executed. Why? Because I have given the semicolon. So under which situation such kind of a loop can be used? There is no statement used in this loop, and the semicolon is used for the termination of the loop. It will just repeat the loop operation as long as the given condition becomes the true. One may require this type of operation for introducing a time delay program. For example, आपने ATM machine में you have entered the ATM card and immediately you are not making the transaction. Certain time delay is allowed. Suppose 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 10 seconds. And immediately after 10 seconds, it will exit from the transaction. So such kind of the situation, you can use this such kind of a time delay program. So this is the use of a for loop. You can also use the comma operators in the conjunction with the for loop statement, permits different expression to appear in the situation where only one expression would ordinarily use. So this is a syntax where you can use the comma operator for expression 1a, comma expression 1b, expression 2, expression 3, and you can run the group of the statement. Expression 1 and expression 1b are two expressions separated by the comma operators. Normally we have a one expression, but here what you say, no, I wish to initialize two index. That is possible in the for loop. Somebody said, no, I wish to initialize one index, but I wish to go for the incrementer and decrementer of a two index. So you can also use as a expression 1 semicolon expression 2 expression 3 and expression 3b. Here expression 3 and expression 3b separated by the comma operators appears in a place of single expression 3. In this application, two separate expressions would typically be used to alter, that is incrementer and decrementer, the two different indices used simultaneously within the loop. For example, you can understand by this program. Suppose I wish to display the output likewise. I takes value 0, 1, 2, 9, but another index will take 9, 8, 7, 9, 0. So how to do that? I have to use two index in a single for loop. Integer I equal to 0 and the j become the 9. So here when I equal to 0, j become the 9. Then you should have a condition only on any one of the index. Let us I less than equal to index. As I less than equal to 9. Okay. Yes. So 0 less than equal to 9. Yes. So you will go for the one increment. But as soon as you can go for one increment, you wish j should be decremented by 1. So here I become 1, j become 9 minus 1, that is 8. And then you are printing I equal to I and j equal to j. So you can see that initially it is printing 0 to 9. Then I will be incremented by 1. 1 is less than equal to 9. And j is decremented by 1. So j 9 में से कितना हुआ 8. Then there will be increment in the I. 2 is less than equal to 9. Then again you will continue that 3, 4, 5 up to 9. So I become 9. I less than equal to 9. It will print this. Then there is increment. I become the 10. So 10 is less than equal to 9. No, that means you will exit from the loop and it will print this. So whenever you wish to initialize two different index, and if you wish to go for the two different incrementer or decrementer, at that time you can use the for loop using the comma operator. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now some people can write in this way. So this is an invalid way of data initialization. Why? Here I am writing for integer I equal to 0 and integer j equal to 10. I less than equal to n plus plus I and j minus 1. So there is no mistake over here. There is no mistake here. But there is mistake here. Why? Because you cannot give two times integer in the same loop. Because comma operator itself is suggesting that I and j both are of integer nature. So you have to write integer I equal to 0, comma j equal to 10, semicolon I less than equal to n plus plus I j minus minus. Okay, that is the correct version. So 2 times integer is used, it is not correct. Suppose somebody write this, initially you will declare integer j over here. Then you are saying that no, I have forget to declare the integer I, so I am declaring integer I here. Then if you give the j, so what happen? It is a multiple declaration. Here you have declared, and here also it is understanding j is of integer data type. Okay, the declaration of j is repeats. Okay. So this is a invalid way of a data initialization. Only you have to declare the once. No need to declare again and again. Similar to the nested if-else structure, we have a nested for loop. So if you are going to place for loop within the for loop, then it is a kind of a nested for loop. So normally any loop will be placed inside the other loop in C++. Just for example, the following program segments show that for loop within one more for loop. So here for I equal to 0, I less than equal to 2 plus plus I, then the loop is start, then you have entered the J loop and then you will have this. So that is the example of a nested for loop. And if you remember, we have wrote a program of arranging the data in ascending orders where we have used the for loop within the for loop. That means first we have introduced the for loop of ith variable, and then within that ith for loop we have introduced the jth loop. So this is, let us say, a program to display a name 15 times using the nested for loop. So if I wish to declare the loop by 15 times, so 15 times means it should be 3 5s, but here how many times? Here it is saying that let us say 27 times. So 27 times 0 to 2, how many elements? 3 elements. 0 to 2, how many? 3. And 0 to 2, how many? 3. So 3 into 3 into 3. So that is a 27 times you are repeating this name. So how this program is working? Cout explain the nested for loop. So you have integer I equal to 0, I less than equal to 2, I plus plus, then you print the value of I. Suppose I equal to 0, it will take 0. I equal to 1, it will take 1. Once I equal to 0, immediately you will come to this. J less than equal to 2, J plus plus, then you will come to this. It will print J equal to 0 and then you will come back to this loop of K. And K equal to 0, it will print this. Then K equal to 1, again it will print. K equal to 2, again it will print. When K equal to 3, that is not possible, so you will go to the J loop. So J become the 1, J become the 2, and this all the repeating. Then again, if J become the 3, you will go to the loop of I. So likewise, this is nothing but end of, this is the end of K loop, this is the end of J loop, and this is the end of I loop, and this is the end of the main program. So let us understand this. Program to demonstrate nested for loop. Printing of name 8 times. Okay, so 8 times means it is 2 cube. Include stream.h, include ponyo.h, void main, str, variable integer I, j, k. For loop I equal to 0, I less than equal to 1, I less than equal to I plus plus. Out I. Let us see what happens. And for j equal to 0, j less than equal to 1, j plus plus. Out j. And for j equal to 0, j less than equal to 1, j plus plus. And you print out j. And then cout message Merry Christmas. This is the end of K loop, this is the end of J loop, this is the end of I loop, and .ch, and this is the end of main function. So you can see that it is printing likewise. Okay. So what I do, I will give the enter so that name should be appropriately shown. Okay, so first, what happened? I become the 0, J become the 0, and Merry Christmas. Then I 0, J 0, K become the 1, Merry Christmas. Okay, then I become the 0, here J become the 1, K become the 0. Likewise. Okay, so you can see that how many? 2, 4, 6, and 8. So total, how many combinations are there? 2 raised to 3. Okay. So any question in a for loop? Anyone? We'll write another program of to show you use of comma operators. Ij 4 equal to 0, j equal to 9, I less than equal to 10, 9. We have taken the j equal to 9. 5 plus plus j minus minus we have slash t, that is horizontal tab, j equal to j under. What are the errors? Two errors. Why errors? Anyone? Why errors? What is the error it is saying?
सर वहाँ पे कॉमा नहीं किया है सर.
Because dot is a special character which is not allowed. Okay. और I dot j लिखा है, इसका मतलब उसने हमने j यूज किया but it has given their undefined symbol j. तो अब ये errors निकल जाएगी. And you can have this output. मिल गया output? So that is what we have discussed about the for loop. Alternative to the for loop, one can use the while loop. The second type of loop, the while loop, is used when we are not certain that the loop will be executed. So when we are not certain about the test condition, at that time we will use the while loop. हमें पता नहीं है कि loop will be executed or not. At that time we use the while loop. But if we are certain whether the condition is true or false, but loop will be executed at least once, then we use the concept of a do while loop. So after checking whether the initial condition is true or false and finding it to be true, only then the while loop will enter into the loop operations. So as soon as the given condition is true, then only then you will enter to the loop operation. The general syntax of a for loop is while condition and statement. So this is the general structure, while in bracket the condition, and then you can write the statement. And if you write the block style programming while condition and then group of the statement, you will be going to execute. Condition may be any valid C++ expressions. Okay. Unary or binary expression or a return value of a function call. Okay. And statement may be single or it may be of a compound statement. But the ideal way of writing the while loop is, here you can see that there is no initial condition, there is no increment, and that is how we write the while loop. Has the syntax is initial value, test condition, then the group of statement is executed, and then you can go for a change of initial condition. But this initial condition and change of initial conditions are the user defined. That is not the part of the system defined for syntax of a while loop. Similarly, in a for loop, you have a three expression: expression 1, expression 2, and expression 3. So here while loop also require the three expression, but among of three expression, two expressions are the user defined. That is called initial condition and change of the incrementer. So let us understand if you wish to find out write a program to find a sum of first 100 natural numbers. That is sum equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 100. So how will you write the program using the while loop? You will, because sum of integer number is integer, so I am writing the sum and I am entering the value 1, 2, 3, 100 by saying the digit. So digit is my variable which takes value 1 to 100. Now initially sum I will assign the 0. If I will not assign the 0, what happens? Computer will understand that sum has certain garbage value. We will show you in both the way. Without assigning 0 what happened, and after assigning 0 what happened. Digit equal to 1, that is initialization of a condition. While digit less than equal to 100, that means 1 is less than equal to 100, yes. So that means condition is true, you will enter into this loop. And sum plus equal to digit. So initially sum is equal to 0, you will add the digit, so now it becomes the 1. And then you can increment digit by 1. So that is now 1 become the 2. 2 is less than equal to 100, yes, you will enter. Likewise, it will repeat till the digit become the 100. And then you can have the output is this. That is stored into the 100. So let me show you. Use of while loop to find sum of first 100 natural number. You have to add necessary header file. Here I wish to find into sum. Okay, and that is initially sum is 0, because I will not give the sum 0. What happened? Let us see. And then digit is another integer number. Now out enter value of n in, let us say n. Here sum of 100 की जगह पे आप find sum of first n natural numbers. N may be anything you wish to give. Then I have to declare n as an integer. After this, we'll write the for loop for L digit equal to 1, while digit less than equal to n, sum plus equal to digit. Then you will increment digit by 1, and then you will print Cout sum equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot 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 plus n. Here n I will write in this way so that it's also changing. Then you can have a sum. Use of while loop. Okay, there is no errors. But suppose if you are entering, let us the sum of first 10 numbers, n equal to 10. Then what is the answer? 1569. Is it correct answer? We know that sum of the first 10
No,
numbers is
sir.
n into n plus 1 by 2. So n is 10. N plus 1 is 11. 11 multiplied 10 is 110 divided by 2. It should be 55. But it has given the answer is 1569. Why? Because initially sum I have taken as, I have not taken the 0. So that's why it has taken any value. If you run second time, you can have the different value. Garbage. Because if I'm giving the 0, what happens? That's why we have to be very cautious while using in the summation. And if you are doing multiplication, then the what is the identity for a multiplication? It is a 1. Now you can see that it is a 55. Okay. So if you are finding the program for a geometric mean, then of course you have to first multiply and then you have to find out the square root or nth root. So during the multiplication, you have to go for the multiplicative additive. Okay, 1. Is that okay? This is the simple use of a for loop.
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you wish to write a program of a simple random sampling with replacement, without replacement, maybe assignment या seminar कल upload करूँगा group में, तो आएगा किसी को सिस्टमेटिक सैम्पलिंग आएगा, किसी को स्ट्रेटिफाइड आएगा, ठीक है? तो दैट यू हैव टू सबमिट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ द असाइनमेंट. और मैंने इसका आपको बोला है ग्रुप का कि आप 2 का ग्रुप मुझे दे दीजिए तो सेमिनार्स में आपको दे दूंगा. और यू कैन सिलेक्ट द टॉपिक, इट इज अप टू यू. बट अपने सेमिनार्स एंड असाइनमेंट शुरू हो जाएगा. असाइनमेंट आपको 10 तारीख तक सबमिट करना होगा, ठीक है? और सेमिनार्स जो है वो आपके 10 तारीख से शुरू हो जाएंगे, 1 by 1. That is all about the while loop. Suppose if you wish to write a program to find a sum of the odd numbers from 100 numbers, then how will you do that? You can use the while loop. You can assign x equal to 1, maximum value is 100. If x is less than equal to max here, then Cout is x, and next will be x plus 2, because यहाँ पे 1 है तो next x क्या आएगा 3, फिर next क्या आएगा 5. So that means it is a प्रिंटिंग ऑफ ए 100 ऑड नंबर एंड सम करना है, तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं, हर बार सम को ऐड करते जाइए, इट विल गिव द सम ऑफ ऑड नंबर. Suppose if you wish to find out the program to find a sum and average of a given number using the while loop, ठीक है, तो same program we will, instead of for loop I am using the while loop. I am declaring n and I as integer, ab a sum as a floating point numbers. How many numbers? So let us say n numbers. I will initialize the condition sum I equal to 0 and initial value of sum is 0. If while is less than equal I less than equal to n minus 1, जहाँ पे 4 क्या था, 0 to n minus 1 था, ठीक है, तो वहाँ पे I के ऊपर यही कंडीशन थी, I less than equal to n minus 1, enter the numbers, then you can find out the sum and then there is an increment and then find out the average. Same, just the change of loop. Is that okay? Any questions, anyone? आपको ध्यान रखना है कि when you use the I plus plus and plus plus I plus plus में क्या होगा, पहले प्रिंट करेगा फिर इंक्रीमेंट करेगा, यहाँ पे क्या करेगा, पहले इंक्रीमेंट करेगा फिर प्रिंट करेगा. So that is how we have to be very cautious. इसकी हमें जरूरत नहीं है. So now we will go for the do while loop. Any questions, anyone about the while loop?
No, sir.